Hey guys, welcome to the Athfix. In this video, I am going to discuss about the ES6 script. Well, what is ES6 script? Well, whenever we are writing the JavaScript code, we need to have a simple syntax for which these ES6 scripts were introduced. Well, ES6 was not the first thing. There are ES1, ES2, ES3, ES4 and ES5. At last, ES6 was developed. There are also ES7 and ES8 version which are beta version. They are still in the development, but ES6 is a fully fledged version which we can use in our JavaScript for simple syntax, as it provides very simple syntax. And when you ask why Python only used for machine learning and AI, this is the answer: because Python has very simple syntax for which it is used. You can also use JavaScript and Java for the purpose of machine learning and AI development, but they have very large syntax which is not a good thing for a developer to use. Therefore, many of the developers uses the Python for machine learning and AI. Well, to develop many of the website, you need to have very simple syntax so that you can add many of the features to the app. Therefore, this ES6 become a revolutionary. It provides you everything which is very simple. First of all, it introduces with the let and const keyword, which we can use in a small code snippet, or you can use throughout the function. And you have arrow function in which we don't have to use the function keyword name and return statement. You have for and off loop in which you don't have to use anything. You can directly access array and object elements to into the for loop. And we have map and set in which you can able to create object and set the property and the values. And we have the classes in which we have set of a function which are present in a classes, and you can access those all function using that class. And we have promises in which we can decide what to do, what not. And we have simple symbols, and we have default parameters. And whenever we are talking about symbols, it is just like a OTP, and every time which you get a different OTP, just like symbol is going to create a number which is different every time. And we have function rest parameter in which we can able to access a whole array into a function without actually using every parameters. And we have string and array and math methods which are additional. And we have number properties and method which are introducing new things. And we have iterable object entries, we have JavaScript models, we have a lot of things in this JavaScript. And another thing, once Bill Gates were asked by an interviewer, how you recruit the peoples, they said that we recruit peoples on the basis of their laziness. No, yes, they have answered this thing only. They said that we are going to recruit the peoples on the basis of their laziness. Why? When they ask why you recruit on the basis of laziness, then the Bill Gates answered that we are going to recruit the peoples on the basis of laziness because they are going to find a simplest way to solve a problem. Yes, it's their answer. Because lazy people are going to find a simplest way to solve a problem because they are lazy. And this thing is applicable in almost all the programming language. If they are simple, they are used extensively. If they are complicated, they aren't used. And therefore the JavaScript is also on the top trending of the programming language because it provides very simple syntax. And next we are going with the introduction of ES6. As we have discussed in the agenda, we have let and const, we have arrow functions, we have classes, we have promises, we have map set, and we have promises, number and math, objects, enhancements, reflection, proxies. We have a lot of things, and which are everything were simplified, for which we use this ES6. And this introduction talks about it. Next we are going to discuss about a let and const keyword. Well, if you are using a function or a set of a code snippet and you want to use specific variable inside the function only, you don't want to use that variable outside the function. Means if you are using function add and you are using variable x equal to a plus b, and you want to use that x only in the function, you don't want to use that variable outside the function. In that scenario, you can use the let keyword. Whenever you use let keyword, it is going to declare that variable inside that function only. It is not going to be used outside that function, and that is why the let is used. And it is very useful if you are writing a lot of code, and your code has a lot of a repetition of variable. In that scenario, it is very useful because it is going to declare that variable in that function snippet only. And we have constant. Whenever you use constant, it is globally declared. Means whenever you use whatever you use, this constant value is fixed. You can't change the value, and you can't update the value. But you can use this value throughout your code, for which this constant is used. Once you declare the constant, it can be used everywhere in the program. Well, now I'm going to discuss about the let and const keywords. As I discussed in the presentation, let is used in specific code snippet, whereas the const used throughout the code. First of all, to discuss about it, I create a variable n equal to 5, let n equal to 5, and next I use code snippet in curly braces, in which I write n equal to 6, and it is not going to show me any error. As you can have a look at here, when I say fi, I just run the code, it is not going to show me any error here, and I just use console.log of n, and it is going to show me 6, and it is normal for a variable also. It is going to show me 6. If I use this console.log outside that code snippet, if I use it here and I just save it and I just reload the site, it is going to show me 5. As you can have a look at here, it is going to show me 5. Why it is showing me 5? Because this n is not inside this code snippet. This let n equal to 6 inside the code snippet, and it is not this console.log is not going to consider this let n equal to 6, but it is going to consider this let n equal to 5, and this let n equal to 6 is going to work in that code snippet only, not outside. And this is how we use the let, and this is very useful if we have very less amount of variables are available for naming. And we have const. Well, we check this also for the purpose of variable. Let's check it how it is going to work. When I use variable here, as you can have a look at here, we have variable n equal to 6, we have variable n equal to 5, and it is going to show me 6. Why? Because this variable is permanent throughout the code. We have variable n equal to 5, we have changed variable n equal to 6. It is going to show me 6, not the 5. And this is the difference between let and the var. As you can have a look at here, it is going to show me 6, and this is the difference between let and var. And next we have a const. Whenever we use const, it is permanent throughout the code. We are unable to change the value of it. As you can have a look at here, when I say fi, it is going to show you the uncaught error. Why? Because this is constant. You can't change the value of any constant, therefore it is going to show you the error. In fact, you can't use the constant here again for the same variable. As you can have a look at here, variable n equal to 5, because this is only declared here. And this is how we go with this constant let and const keywords. And next we are going to discuss with the arrow functions. Well, arrow function is a simplified version of the function. In the normal JavaScript function, we have discussed that we use a function keyword, and we use function name, and we have parameters, and we have return statement which return the result. In the arrow function, we use a variable x, which is going to access the value of the function, and we have a and b, which are the parameters of the function, and we have arrow function which is like equal to and greater than sign, and we have we don't have any return statement, we have just result a plus b. And this is how we use the function, the arrow function. And this is not going to access any of the function keyword. We don't use any of the function keyword, rather we use function name, rather we use return statement. We just use this simple syntax for getting a function value, and this is how it is very simple. and this is how we use arrow function, and we will discuss these all things in a VS Code. Well, now I am going to discuss about the arrow functions. First of all, whenever we are discussing about arrow function, we must know the difference between normal JavaScript function and arrow function. As I discussed in the presentation, there are a lot of differences. We are not going to use any function name, we are not going to use any function keyword, rather we are not going to use any return statement. Directly we are writing an arrow function using a brackets and equal to sign, greater than sign, and curly braces. Let's see how it works using the set interval object. Here I am going to create a set interval object. Set interval. Here I am going to create a set interval. In the set interval I am going to add a function. Here I am going to add a function, and this function is executed multiple times on the basis of the timing. If I mention here 1000 millisecond, then it is going to be 1 second. For every 1 second this function is going to be executed. For every 1 second this function is going to be executed. In the function I'm going to add the console.log, and here I am going to add 5. Here I am going to add 5, and I say F5 for the debugging. As you can have a look at here, this is 5 first time, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, this is fifth, and this is going by using a normal JavaScript function in which we are going to use a function keyword. Now I am going to show you using the arrow function. Well, now instead of this function I am going to use the arrow function. Well, it is very simple. As you can have a look at here, we have used two brackets, equal to sign and greater than sign. When I say F5, as you can have a look at here, this is 5 first time, this is second, this is third, this is fourth. As you have a live session how it is going in the browser, how it is executing. This is 13th time it is going to be executed, and this is how we go with arrow function. Arrow functions are very easy for usage. We move with the for and off loop. Well, we have discussed a for loop in which we initialize and we give a condition when we increment that function, and till the condition it is going to give us the loop. For example, if you are using for n equal to 0, n is less than 5, n plus plus, and this loop is going to be executed until n is less than 5. When n become equal to or greater than 5, it is going to break the loop, and this is how we use normal JavaScript function for loop. But when I'm talking about for of loop of ES6, it is totally different. We use for a keyword, and we have variables of iterables. Iterables means array, and we have this string, maps, node list, and we have a lot of things which are termed as iterables, and their name is termed as iterables. And variables means the content which is present in a specific array, string, map, or node list, and it is going to be accessed. And here we have example, we have constant cars. Cars include BMW, Volvo, and Mini, and we have let text equal to some null text, and which is a string and which has nothing. And we have for let x of cars. When we are saying let x of cars, it is going to access every element related to it. It is going to with the 0. Let 0 of cars means with this BMW is with index of 0, therefore BMW is going to be accessor. We have BMW here, then we have Volvo here, and we have the Mini which are displayed here. This is how we use for and off loop, and this is how we use for and off loop. Well, now I am going to discuss about the for off loop. What is for off loop? Unlike our previous for loops in which we have used the initialization, condition, and increment for accessing any of the elements or looping any of the elements, we are not going to use numbers here. As we are not going to use any numbers, we have some of the keywords in which we are going to use all of them. To show you, first of all, I am going to create an array, variable k equal to, I am going to use a, and next I am going to use b, and next I am going to use c, and next I am going to use d here, and I'm going to use d here. Next I'm going to create a blank variable text equal to blank, and next I'm going to use a for of loop in which I'm using for and I have to use a variable keyword like a var, let, const to declare a variable. You can take any of the random variable. I'm taking here x, let x of k, means it is going to access every elements which is present in this array using this statement, let x of k. And next I am using braces here in which I am using a text equal to k, and I am using plus, and next I am using console.log. In the console.log I am going to use txt and I will save it, and I just run that. As you can have a look at here, we are going to get a b c d for for loop, because for the first loop we are going to get a, for second we are going to get b, and for third we are going to get c, for fourth we are going to get d. And this is how we use the for of loop, in which we just use a for loop for keyword, and we are going to use let a variable of k, and this is how we are going to access every element of an array using for of loop. And it is very easy for accessing the strings. Let's check it for string. For string I am going to use some string like Elon Musk, and I just save it and I just reload the site. As you can have a look at here, we are going to get Elon Musk. Well, do subscribe our channel for regular updates. Thank you.